Okay, so guys, let's begin. So last lecture we started with methods, and then we also saw some of the controls in debugging, correct? Now today's session we are going to continue further with methods, and we'll understand methods in a more detailed manner. So for now, all of you practice in online IDE itself. Later, I will make you install some IDEs, then you can start debugging. For now, understand the program by writing and use online JDoodle compiler for practicing. So let's go to this class A. And now, first thing I'm going to teach in today's classes, what is the meaning of void? What is the meaning of void? Let's try to see that here. So we are going to learn a new word called as void methods. What do you mean by void methods? See, void it means it is just like Vijay Mallya Nirav Modi, who never returned the money back to the bank after taking the loan. So that was forcefully taken actually, but otherwise they never returned the money back to the bank. Void meaning is it will not return. It will not return anything back. So if you go back here, I'm going to build here a method called as public. You see here I'm using void and the method name is test. Now when the method is void, inside this method, if you want to return any value, this will end up giving you an error. You cannot return any value when the method is void. Then what to do? Whatever value you are returning, depending on that, replace void with that. I'm returning 35, that is integer. So replace void with int. Is the error gone? Make it void. Make it void. What do you see? Error. Change void to int. Now why am I changing this to int? Because our method is returning value of the type int. Let's make it again void. If you want to return a string value, anything in double quotes is a string value. Since you are returning string value, the method return type cannot be void. If it is void, you cannot add this line at all. If you want to add this return value line, first thing is keep this in mind. Replace void with what you are returning. Okay. If I now write here 10.3f, it is float. It is float. Now you need to ensure you terminate with f, otherwise you get an error. You need to ensure you are terminating with f, otherwise you will end up getting what? An error. Okay. So whenever we people are talking about, 1 minute, hold on. Just 1 minute, huh? Some important call. 1 minute. Okay. Now observe, when we are writing here now integer value 100, what will you change this to? Int. Now very carefully observe the debugging steps. This method, this method is a non-static method. Do you agree with that? Everyone, do you agree with that? Now how do you agree with this one? Because static keyword is missing. So if it is non-static, in order to call this, I will create an object, correct? And then I'm going to call this method. Okay. Now I'm going to put a breakpoint here. For now, understand the flow, what's happening. We will click on the debug button, where the program will stop, line number 5. Now how do I move from line 5 to line 6? Very good, step over. And now I want to go to this test method, step into. So line 6 will go to line 9 and stops at 10. We'll go to line 9 and stops at 10. Observe carefully now. If you look at your debug window, which let me just keep it open on the other side, so program will be more clearly visible. Observe here now, I called this test method from line 6. What is line 6? A1.test. From there I am now at line 10 of test method. Now this return keyword is doing what? Very carefully see that. I will now do step over. Where is it going back? Observe. So from line 10, where is it going back? So can I tell the line number 10 is returning the control back to line number 6. Line number 10, the return keyword is returning the control back to the method calling statement. Can I tell that? This is method calling statement. Return keyword will send you back to method calling statement. And not only that, this value 100 is also given here. It's returning not just the control, it's returning the control plus value 100 is given here. So now what I'll do, I will store that value 100 in this variable x. Variable x is created in main, so that becomes a local variable. Are you understanding? Now when you do step over, okay, observe what should happen when I now debug this again. Step over. Now observe, I'm at line 6. So from line 6 now, I'm interested to go to this method, step into. Now what is this line 11 doing? Going back to line 6 and storing value 100 into x. This value 100 is given to this line and you're storing in x. You can observe when I step over, right? You see here, I'm here now. When I move further from here, what value got stored in x? Who is giving that value 100? Line 11 is giving that value 100 here, and that value 100 I'm storing in what? X. Can you see this here in the variable section? Yes. Now when I do SOP, step over, closing bracket of main. When closing bracket of main runs, what happens to the program? Program terminates. Is it terminated? Is it terminated? Yes. The program is terminated. I hope everybody got this now with clarity what exactly we are talking about. We will show you once again. Observe carefully. I clicked on the debug. It stops at line 5. Step over. Now, if you want to go to this method, step into. I want to see what is this line 11 doing. It's going back to step 6 and storing 100 into x. So it's going back to step 6 and then storing 100 into what? X, which you can see here under variables section. Correct? And now when I print this x, observe it's printing 100. You can arrange the screen windows however you want by dragging and dropping it. Okay? And now closing bracket of main, program stops. So what did you understand by this line? Return keyword, okay, with a value. Return keyword with a value will return the control and value to method calling statement. It's not just returning the control. Control is going plus value is also going there. So it's returning the control and value back to method calling statement, which I'm further then storing in local variable x and printing it. Is everyone clear with this part? Please tell me. Online students, do you have any doubts, any questions, confusions with what we did so far? Please tell me. Everyone, did you understand this part? Are you able to analyze the flow now? Now comes another very cool feature in debugging. called as expression. Now this expression window, what you can do is you can put any mathematical expressions in it, or a methods calling statement you can put into it. Now what happens when I do that? Right now we have method calling statement. I'm taking that, going to expression tag. I copied, I clicked on this, clicking on expression tag, add new. Now by adding this expression, when I hit on enter, right? When I hit on enter, let's run this in now the debug mode. Observe, I'm moving further. Okay. Now you see, moment I'm at this line, the expression tells what is this method going to return. So without even going to that method, you can find out that method that you're calling, what value it is going to return. Did you understand now? So methods which are not void can be put into expression tab. Methods that are not void. Not void means it will return a value. So I'm at this line and you see that it's directly telling this is going to return 100. And you want to see that? Then continue, step into, step over, then step over. You see the value 100 that was returned, I'm printing it here. Did you understand this now? Now here, as of now, I'm adding a method that is not a void. Mathematical expressions can also be added here. You have got any mathematical formulas? Let's say you have come up with some formula for calculating insurance policy payment. Now that formula is right or wrong, we use this expression tag. Okay, the expression tab, we use it here, and that will tell us that this formula, upon executing, what is it giving us back. You will get familiar with this slowly. You cannot understand this all of a sudden. Since this is very new, you never explored these concepts in any IDE. This will take time for you to get adjusted with this. Okay, but let's continue further now. I'll stop now. So now what I'll do is I'll print here SYSO from test. Now see, let's analyze the flow now. Where is the breakpoint? 5. When I click the debug icon, where it will stop? Line 5. It will stop at line 5. Now if you want to move from line 5 to line 6, which control? Step over. Is there any output printed as of now? No. Now how do I go to that method? Step into. Now I'm at line 11. So from line 11, how to go to line 12? Step over. What is the first output of my program? From test. So do you want to take a pen and paper and then go and do the messy thing there? No. This is how you will understand the flow. Which line is running first, which line is running later, every line that is running, what is it doing? So this is what is the analysis of debugging, right? Now notice, I'm at step 12. So when I click on the step over, which line will it go to? It was called from 6. Correct. Line 12 is a return statement called from 6. So which line will it go back to? 6. Are you understanding now? Now line 6. Now if you go to expressions tag, what is the value this is actually returning? 100. What is stored in next now? 100. Take the cursor here. You can see. There's another way to find out. What value got stored in X? 100. Now when you step over, what is it going to print? Right? What is it going to print? 100. Are you understanding, everyone? Everyone clear with this part? Everyone got this part? Yes? Okay. So you can clear your console like this. Click on clear and that will clear the console. Let's proceed further now. Now what are we going to do here? Okay, someone here. Now people, did you understand this now? Everyone. Okay, Mintu and Raja, they have some problem here, right? Mintu and Raja. So do you have any problem here? What you did not understand, let's take more examples and try to cover that up now. In case if you're not clear with this, I'll make this program little complex and we will try to understand the flow more clearly. Okay, let's do that now. Let me delete this all. Let me delete this all. I'll call this as test 1. Let's go here. Paste this. Let's make it as test 2. Now, I will make this method as what? Void. And this method is int. So because it is int, you have to write here return value. Are you understanding now? You have to write here return value. Why? Because if it is not a void, returning value is mandatory. Okay, are you understanding now? Now, I'm going to call test1 by creating object a1 is equal to new a. Let's write a1 dot test1. Now test1, I will create another object a2 is equal to new a, and I'm going to call a2 dot test2. Now test2 is returning some value. Test2 is returning some value. That value I will store it in variable x, and let us try to now print this value. Now program execution starts with which method? Main method. Okay, program execution will start with which method? Opening bracket of main. So put a breakpoint here. Mintu and Raja, observe carefully. If you missed my yesterday's class, then you don't know debugging. Right? One who has attended my all previous 4 classes on Java, only those guys can be comfortable with today's lecture. Otherwise, all half of the learning, you're doing it. Okay? I put a breakpoint. Now tell me. I'll click on the debug icon. So first step, it stops at line 5. So let's go to line 6. Step over. Okay, you can see the controls here. Meanwhile, I'll minimize this. I'm at which line? 6. From line 6, I want to go to this test1 method. Step into. See the flow here. From line 6, I'm at line 10 inside test1 method. Correct? Now, step over. What is the next thing? Again a method calling statement. If you want to go to that method, step into. So from line 11, you see that now? Look at the whole flow. From line 6 of main, I called test1. From line 11 of test1, I'm calling line 15. That's the thing. From line 6, I was at line 9, then 10, then I reached 11. From line 11, it goes to 14 and stops at. Look at this trace. From line 6, we are now, from line 11, then we are now calling 15. See, line 6, line 11, line 11 is then at 15. Did you understand this flow? Everyone? Now, there is a return keyword. What's the meaning of return keyword? Go back to the place from where it is called. Line 15 was called from which line? 11. So go back to the place from where it was called. Which was the line it was called from? 11. See, it was called from here. So this line will take you back to the line from where it was called. See, it goes from 15 back to 11, and 15 is removed from our debug window. Did you understand how the tracing now we are analyzing here? Yes. Now observe. Now line 11. From line 11, which is the next line? 12. So how do I move to line 12? Come on, tell me. How do I move to line 12? Step over. Now when I did step over, what happened to X? It got the value 100. Correct? Now I'm at line 12. From line 12, I'll go to what? 13. How do I move from current line to next line in same method? Step over. Closing bracket. Closing bracket. Now observe. I'm at line 13 of test 1. But test 1 was called from which line? Correct, no? So now when I click on step over, from line 13, which line will I go to? 6. Are you understanding the back tracing? It will go back to line 6 and then stops at 7. Observe. Why it did not stop here? Because it's not returning any value to stop here and capture. If I'm returning a value, it will stop here. But if I'm not returning any value, then it will just go to that calling statement, stops at next line automatically. Did you understand now? Which line am I at now? 7. 7 is what? Main method closing bracket. So program is terminated. Do you want to see this once again? Yes, everyone, do you want to see this once again? Or clear with this now? Yes, everyone clear with this part? We'll see it once again. Observe. I'm on debug window now. This window is very important in debugging. That's where the flow clarity we get it. Which line number am I at? 5. Which method? Main. Which is the class name? A. We'll talk about packages and all later. Don't worry. This all we will discuss later. Now let's go to line 6. Step over. which line am I at? So from line 6, I want to go to test 1. Which line is it at? 9. But it will not stop at 9. It will enter the method and stops at first line. So actually from line 6, it will directly enter the method and stops at 10. Observe. From line 6, it is now calling the test1 method and stopped at 10. Now we want to move to the next line. Step over. Which line number in test1 am I at now? 11. From line 11, you want to go to test2 method. It's a method call. So how will you go to test2 method? Step into. Step into means you'll go to 14 and stops at 15. So you will see it technically stopping at 15. See the flow? 6, 11, 15. Now 15 is return statement. So the flow will be now 15 will go back to 11 because it was called from 11. Are you understanding now? So let's see. Does that happen? See, it stops at 11. Why it is stopping at 11? Because it is stopping at 11 because this 100 value it has to take and store in X. Since you are returning a value, it stops at that method calling statement so that it stores the value in X. 100. Now comes is the next thing here. I'm at line 13. Line 13 of test method. But this line 13 of test method was called from which line? 6. But line number 6, you're not returning any value. You're returning only control. See, control from 13 is going to 6. I'm not returning the value. I'm returning only control. Yes or no? So now I'm at which line? 6. When the control is returned, it'll go to 6 and stops at next line. Can you see that? If the value was returned, it would stop here. Value not returned, it'll just go to that and stops at next line automatically. Now, closing bracket of main. Program stops. Now, is it interesting? Huh? Are you able to understand? Yes. Why we started telling you people that debugging is important, and most of the time the debugging part 100% it is going to be skipped, and you will all be busy basically only analyzing the programs in the wrong way with the wrong things. Okay, now let's continue further. Now let's do one thing. Now, okay, it's a down to up. Yeah, the flow when you call a method, you call a method and that method goes back to calling statement. You call a method and then that method at the end will go back to the place from where it is called. The main method is only one, closing bracket, it stops. So it is something like that. If you make object static, then we need not create multiple objects. Yes, you need not create. This is just a program flow I'm explaining. Okay. Before calling test1, why x value is printed? X value is not printed before that. Where is it printed? You have not seen properly. The x value was printed after this line 12 only. Observe properly. Only when this line 12 executes, it printed what? 100. Till then it was not printing. Okay. Once from line 12 you go to 13, then that value gets printed. Otherwise it will not print. Okay. If you observe your console window, that's where it will print. If you just see this here, I'll show you once again. See, now I'm quickly doing it. I'm here, going here. Where is it printing? You see, I'm now going step into, is it printed? No. Now see, I'm running line 12. Line 12 to 13, now printed. Okay, right click and clear the screen. Okay, let's continue further now. So now once again, whenever a method is not a void, it means that method is returning some value. When a method is not a void, which means that method is returning some value. But now what I will do, I will build a void method. Now in void method, can I return value? Can I type your return 100? No, I cannot return value. Why you cannot return value? It's void. Main method is what? So can main method return value? No. Anything that is void, it cannot return value. So you cannot write return space value. Keep this in mind. But now what I'll do is I'll remove this value and the error is gone. So there is a difference between returning value and writing only return keyword. If I'm now writing only return, then the method has to be void. And this is optional. Even if you don't write closing bracket, it was going back. But after writing return keyword, what's happening? You observe here. I'll purposefully add here one line. You observe carefully. Two things. One, I'm writing return. This is optional. Even if I don't write, I don't have any error in the program. Okay, I don't have any error in the program. So you carefully observe. I'm typing here return. Okay. Firstly, if I don't write return, tell me when it will go back. From line 12, it will go back to 6. This we saw. But now let me type only return. You cannot return value, but you can write only return. Is this clear? Now run this in debug mode. Run this in debug mode. Observe. How do I go line 5 to line 6? Step over. Now how do I go to that method? Step into. Correct? Now line 10 to 11, step over. Now observe. It printed 100. But now you have to carefully observe, when you write return, from line 11 itself, it will return back to 6 and stops at next line. So this will not consider the closing bracket in this case. If you are using return keyword, observe, from line 6 I called test. Correct, no? From line 6 I called test. And now in the test method, I'm at line 11. Line 11. What is line 11 doing? Line 11, instead of closing bracket now, earlier we were returning from closing bracket to here and stopping at next line. Since it is void, it will go back and stop at next line. But if you use return, observe what happened. Instead of returning back from line 12, this return keyword is making my code test method to return back to line 6 and stop at 8. Can you see this here? Yes? I'll show you once again. Observe. Observe. I'll not write return keyword. Still there is no error. That's optional. Now if I debug, still my program will work. But some developers will use return keyword. Now observe. I'm going to next line. Step into. Prints 100. Now from line 6, I'm at line 12 of test. Line 6, I'm at line 12. What is line 12? Closing bracket. Closing bracket means go back to line 6 and stop at next line. See, is it happening? Is it happening, students? Online students, right? Okay, everybody, you're able to follow me. Please comment once. Did you understand this part? But now, when I don't write return, from here it is going back and stopping at next line. But what is happening if I use return? What's happening if I use return? Then, what are we going to do here is go to that method, print 100. Now the return keyword, if it is mentioned by you, then it will not go from the closing bracket back to calling statement. Instead, from line 11 itself, it will go back to 6 and stop at 8. Can you see that? Did you understand now? So if you're using this, what happens? And if you're not using this, what happens to your flow of control? This is what you need to understand. Optional, मत लिखो चलेगा, नहीं भी लिखा काम करेगा, लिखा फिर भी काम करेगा. Got it? So that's why we are telling optional. But if it is int, then this is not optional. You have to write return value here. This is not optional. You have to write what? Return value. Did you understand this now? Okay. Sometimes some logic building, this becomes useful. Okay. Using return keyword, some logic building becomes useful. We will see that in future classes. Why that option is given. Some logic building, when you do it, it becomes little useful. It means, sir, want to print other than int after return, can we add system.out print anything? Okay, now see this here. From basically, I'll make this as void. I'll make this as void. So now tell me, from line 11, it will go back to 6. Correct? Whenever this line runs, it will just go back. So if I write any code after return keyword, does that make any sense? It will never run at all. Yes or no? I've returned return. Now from here itself, you're returning back. from here itself you're returning back, which means this line will never run. This line of code is never going to execute, and that is called as an unreachable code error. Online students, are you getting it? You should not write any code after return keyword, because that code will never run and you will get unreachable code error. What error you will get? हाँ, code वहां तक पहुंचेगा ही नहीं. So there's no point then writing that code. Execution will not go till there at all. And even if it is a return value, you cannot still return the value, because after return keyword this line will never run. And these errors are called as unreachable code error. Let's go back to our notes now, and let's try to understand few things about methods. Okay, so I'm going to do a control F, methods. Okay, see this void. A void method cannot return any value. Can you tell me why there is an error in this program? Because the method is void and you cannot return a value. Simple. Now see, return 100. Where is this 100 returned to? C1.test. Stored in X, printing 100. Able to analyze the flow now? Okay, next. Next. Okay, I'm returning what value? So this mic, I am going to return here, store in X. X should be now string. So we are going to print X. Soon I'll give you lecture for data types and typecasting. Okay, I'll give you an assignment video. That's an easy concept. I'll not take it here. One video is there, I'll provide it. Learn data types that. Okay, and then come back on Monday. Next, return keyword versus return value. Did I mention this differences? Tell me. Return keyword, a method has to be void. Return keyword, if you're using only return, method has to be. Did I cover that? If I make this as void, then only we can use return keyword. Return keywords are supported only in void. Now, it is optional. Do you agree with that? Even if you don't write, the program does not throw me any error. It is optional. Okay, next. It will return control to method calling statement. Do you agree with that? From here, it will just go, when I type here return, what is it doing? Can you tell me what is it doing? Return. It will just return the control back. Okay, some problem with the keyboard here. Return, we'll change that, no issues. Next, observe. Oh, okay, now let's look at this one. Okay, so this we have covered it. Observe this example quickly. Example 1. Now we are calling c1.test. It will print 100. What this return will do? Which line number will it go to? From 521, which line number will it go to? 561 and stops at? Got it? Everybody got it now? Okay. If we write the code after return keyword, then it will 100% not run. This error is called as unreachable code error. Can you tell me why there is an error here? Because from 537 you will go back to 533. This will never run. Such errors are called as unreachable code error. Return value. Can you read this loudly? Not a void. The method has to be not a void. Make sense? Next, it is mandatory to use. Make sense? Returning value is mandatory here. Next, it will return control and value to. Correct, no? Why error here? What is missing? Return value is missing. It is mandatory. It's missing, error. Error because return value statement is missing inside test method. Now, what error will this give? After return keyword, if you write the code, what error will it give? Unreachable code error. Okay. Do you want to practice this much? Yes. There's nothing to do with the time of class. These are zero writing classes. If you notice, we have already reached comfortably 580 lines of notes. Now we could have wasted time by making you write the notes, dictate, then after that do some time pass, some motivational speeches, right? All these things we can do it. Okay? Some drama activities, and we can kill the time. And we can take the classes for 2 hours. Or point to point, we can take the lecture. That day's job over. Next day you will come again, continue from there further. Now your job is to go back home and write all these notes. Okay? You have to prepare all these notes. That has to be handwritten. And for now, debugging, do it manually. Don't use a debugging tool. That will make your understanding stronger. How to analyze the flow of programs, that understanding will become stronger. Okay, so debugging tool, we will use it after few classes. I don't make them install IDE, because if you install IDE, you know all the shortcuts. Now once you know the shortcuts, what you will do, you will use the shortcuts, and syntaxes, then you will never be thorough with that. Writing in the book, syntaxes of Java will become clear. Okay, so Monday's class we are going to talk about method arguments, and then we are going to discuss after that a very interesting concept, static methods. Few examples we are going to take. Then after, we have data types concept. Now I'm going to give you one simple uh, video which you people will have to cover that. Okay, just go to my notes, press Ctrl F, and assignment video. You will just search for what? Assignment video in my notes. Okay, assignment video. And here you have unary operators and data type typecasting. This is your weekend assignment. Saturday, unary operators. This is a playlist. Okay, this is a playlist. Just copy this link. Okay, in your laptop, paste it, and there are near about two, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 videos, short videos, which will give you an idea about what is plus plus and minus minus operator. Okay, plus plus minus minus operator, unary operators. And then after you finish that, you will take this URL on Sunday. Go online, paste it, hit on enter. And this will help you understand what is that typecasting, data typecasting, what are data types, and data typecasting. Okay, you're going to understand that here. Is this clear, everyone? Now, these are little old videos I uploaded later in YouTube. But I think this, no, not 6 years. This is 2016 video. This is actually 10 years back video of Java. Okay, so this is not a recent one of mine, but the data types have not changed. Except one new data type got added called as var, which I will cover in live class. Is this clear, everyone? Which I will cover in what? Live class. So just go through this lecture, be prepared with it, all of you, and ensure that you're back again on Monday. I hope classes are getting more and more interesting. So one doubt can be solved DSA also. See, debugging can debug anything. Are you understanding? But see, you have to be very smart, intelligent enough. Syllabus setting that I will be following is only based on two parameters. One, our place students, what interview questions are they giving? And we prepare a question bank out of it. Fine. No, Saturday I'm not available in academy. Saturday, Sunday is strictly holiday for me. I'll be back only on Monday. Firstly, you should understand now what questions our placed candidates are giving. Okay, that should be the syllabus we have to study. Don't vaguely study the syllabus. Some YouTuber or some online student will tell, do DSA, do this, do that, everything they will tell, and they'll go. But have they attended interviews in recent days? Who is attending? Our recent placed students are attending. So there is one notice board on the left hand side you would have observed. Many students come and click the photos. So when a student gets placed, we tell them, you prepare a questions and give it to us. And we update that notice board. Online people also, I will be sharing that with you. Right? Nothing like that. why do you come to a conclusion? All are engineering students. How can you tell that? Who is BCom student here? BA student here? Raise your hand. Anybody? Which one? BCom. Are you able to understand? Yes. BA. Then why are you telling all are engineering student? See, don't basically have any assumptions. Okay? So it's not like that. We have BA people, BCom people getting placed. So BSc people getting placed, BCA people getting placed. Okay? So first is this, right syllabus has to be picked up without wasting time. Second, what syllabus I'm covering, what question banks they are covering, this all combined together. If you study, out of 10 companies, 7 companies, I would not say all 10 companies, 7 companies our syllabus will match. And that's enough for us to get job. Second, many of our students apply for jobs right after the training outside India. Yes, I'm very serious about it. Okay. So there are countries where getting visa is very easy. Okay. Like morning, one of the batch, July batch, one of the student cracked the interview in Dubai, he was telling me. Now, how the visa part works in Dubai? Once an online interview is conducted. Now we have a portal like Naukri Gulf. Okay, Naukri Gulf. People apply there. They get a call. They give interview. Selected. Then they will release one offer letter. And then those company people's responsibility is now they will sponsor your visa. They will not take any money from you. They will only sponsor visa, work visa, everything they will give you, which I'll tell you in my later classes. But just an idea what I'm giving you is you can apply for India and abroad. Now, what is the difference? Difference is when you apply for jobs in UAE, Mauritius, Malaysia, Indonesia, okay, Vietnam, places like this, interviews are easy. 50% interviews are going to be easy. Okay. So if you apply for Dubai, interviews are going to be damn easy. Are you understanding? Compared to Bangalore. Please understand that. Compared to what? Bangalore. Okay. So many of our students, they apply. And that time I will talk about how to take care of applying for jobs even abroad. And whatever we see, that is what we speak. Okay. So you are all senior batches. We will start guiding them. You apply for India, apply for outside also. Total guidance will be given, and when you get placed, I'll connect you with some of my student in that country. Okay, I'll connect you with some of the student in that country. So he will guide you comfortably. But what a company does, flight ticket, your hotel stay, okay, a residence to stay, everything they take care of it. When anybody, a foreign, okay, candidate applies for a job. And these jobs will not be very vast in number like India. Of course, in India, Java jobs are very huge. But in these countries, the requirements are less, people are also very less. So they don't get their own people to work in IT sector. So what they do is they hunt for people here and there. So for Dubai, Indians are the best suitable candidate because they don't pay very heavy salary compared to other countries. Like we had one guy who got placed in 24 October and I think a year later, his current package is 24 lakhs. Okay. But same thing if you were in another country like US or something, that would have been somewhere around 80 lakhs to 1 CR, a yearly salary. So salary wise, you will not see a big difference. But getting a job is easier than Bangalore. Are you understanding? Yeah. Why? Because this is IT market. People are smart here. We are filled with IT people. Correct? AI tool, IT people, technology wise, things goes on like that. But there what happens, we have limited audience, limited exposure. And they're not that good at conducting interviews as well. Okay. So obviously, comparing with Bangalore, comparing with US, comparing with Singapore, comparing with Canada, these countries' interviews are easier. In fact, we had one alumni meet, one student coming online who got placed in Dubai. We are also recording the numbers. From today, we have started doing that. I've asked my staff to record all the numbers people have got placed in different countries. Now, this might look, sir, is this really possible? See, what has happened, I speak only that. I never try to create stories and speak. Correct? See, that's why every batch of mine, my efforts of marketing is zero. Students, you only refer your friends. Right or wrong? When your friends get placed, they recommend you to reach out my academy. So each and every point that I tell here, not meant for every student, but who is really smart enough, basic communication skills, and they're following what I'm telling you, you can land a job easily there. Okay? Right? And now, as we have seen these results picking up, in all the batches, we have started announcing this. So now, whoever is studying, we are going to apply for jobs in India and abroad both. IT is all about that. The opportunities are around the globe. It's not just restricted to India. So if you go to places where competition is less, demand is more, right? Yes or no? Imagine mechanical classroom, correct? Mechanical classroom, one girl, 100 boys. Demand is more for that girl. So people will try to give her juice, fruit juice, coffee, chips, everything. Simple analogy, must be not a good analogy. But imagine the other way, right? I'm talking about Dubai market. You don't have a lot of IT engineers there, a lot of people going there. So demand is there. And if you apply your mind smartly, we can crack that market. Yeah, we can crack that market, for which I'll be giving you training how to apply for jobs there as well. At the end, I'll be training you on that. You might not get some calls like Bangalore, huge calls, but yes, in a week, one or two calls can be expected. So we'll shortlist the countries. We'll shortlist the countries. So today they will say it's enough. Later you will ask, I'm not getting job. They will mock, say you have not. See, we don't have any mock things, strategies and all here. Whoever is studying, everybody will apply for placement, right? Our strategies are simple. So we never here tell that you did not study, you will not get placement call. This is when the placement drives are fake. See here, every single candidate attending will undergo placements, and that will be a genuine interview drives. No fake drives. Okay, there's no fake drives which we will entertain. Even 0.0001%. Please keep this in mind. Whatever approaches we're going to take it, end results will be successful only if you're seriously preparing. Okay, and this strategies, like, see example, shall I take a minute more just to explain the process? See, this is what I was explaining in one of the batch. The chat GPT is still open. Now what happens is there is a procedure for visa. So visa procedure, okay, how it happens to be, we're just showing some of the candidates. See, every country they have some visa process, and the countries that we are picking up is the visa sponsored by the employer. As long as the employer is not asking you any money for job, they are genuine jobs. The day employer demands money, that you pay me 2 lakhs, I'll give you job, that's a fake job. Or second, I'm putting fake photos on Instagram where I don't have a proper documentation and mobile numbers of those candidates, then it's a fake placement, right? So that is what the strategy is. You prepare a fake AI photo, put on Instagram, got placed. But when the mobile numbers are documented, how many they can document? 1, 2, 3, 4. In the last 2 years, I've got 4,800 numbers documented. Can that 4,800 mobile numbers be fake? 100%. And that's open for all. Even now, if you go and ask them, show me the Excel, they'll show you. So understand, anyways, back to the topic. So what happens here now, when you go for, let's assume UAE, we're applying for job there. Now what is the process is, the company will roll out an offer letter. You give an interview online from India, they release an offer letter. After the offer letter, the employer obtains a work permit. Understand very clearly. The employer will obtain the work permit for you. Entry permit. Then there is a medical test that will happen, and probably they might take some police verification in your own country, one clearance certificate. Rest all they take care of it. And then, okay, the residence visa stamp. Fine. So employment visa. Same way, if you go to Malaysia, they have employment pass. Here also the procedure is same. You have to just give the interview from India. You get an offer. Then they will tell, please submit your passport and things like that. Okay. Details. So everyone ensure you apply for passports. So by the time the course gets over, keep your passport handy. Okay. Now observe here. Employment pass. Primary work visa for skilled jobs. So obviously all IT people, they come under skilled labors. So job offer and the minimum salary what they have to offer. Which one? The company who selected you in Malaysia. The minimum salary has to be approximate this much as per their currency. Okay, Malaysian currency. Then what they do is they give you a visa which will be valid for 1 to 5 years, and that's renewable. You need to keep renewing the visa. Same way we apply for Indonesia, right? Same way we apply for Mauritius, as I have my student getting placed there, okay, and working there. So we have some networks in these places where I can connect you with the candidates once you grab a job. But see, mentally we have to be strong. If you doubt yourself only, ये हो सकता है क्या, ये कभी नहीं होगा then. See, you have to understand mentally only when you're strong. If everything you take it as, you know what, okay, I don't think this will happen, then definitely this will not happen in your case, because you yourself are not mentally strong. You have to be mentally strong, right? So next, then we started doing some research, right? Sponsorship needed. Yes, yes, yes. So these all countries, they provide sponsorship. And likewise, we have many countries. In fact, I'm just picking up few of them, but many countries are there where we can apply for. But yes, uh, possibility is very high. Possibility is very high. Are you understanding? Sir, say if I get doubts in some topics, how can I get cleared? Because in chat I don't think it would be possible. Is there any assist? Firstly, you will get doubt. Is your doubt 100%? That will not come. I bet on this. In my classes, this will not happen. Okay? You will just have this doubt that I will have a doubt till the end. Still, my mobile number is there in the chat group. Suppose you have any doubts while I'm teaching and you did not understand, then we can connect. Provided you can drop a message in our chat group. Sir, I want to connect with you. I'll specify the time when I'm not in class. When I'm free, you can connect with me on call. But see, last 18 years I've been working. So definitely some skills I would have developed, that I know how to train the students with spoon feeding. I will not definitely teach you in a way that you get doubts, because this is not my first year of training. That's why I'm confidently telling. In BTM layout, we are the oldest one. Okay, one of the oldest people in BTM layout is, many institutes with us were there, but now we are there. You can count as oldest academy. Okay, so this all we have understood so far. Your job is only to study, and when doubt is there, put it in chat box. Repeat. You don't even ask me doubt. Repeat the whole topic you tell. I don't mind repeating the whole topic. We will not do any injustice to what, when it comes to training quality, because that's the first step. Just put in chat box. Repeat. You saw some person mention that we repeated that in different exam. Just mention, repeat the topic. We'll take care of it. But whole point here is the sequence of classes, guys. First class, second class, third class, fourth class, and then you attend fifth class. Fifth class is clear. You missed 4 classes and directly you come for fifth class. You don't even know what's happened, right? So that should not be the mistake. Is this clear? All right, guys, I'm going to wind up the class here. See you again on Monday, right? But this market we will be targeting, and I'm serious about it. Is this clear?